certainly a number of great products out there. But if the TAM doesn't support it and doesn't support repeat purchases, that company is going to have a very difficult task ahead of them. One that I've been working with recently, for example, has developed a product that helps curb bad behavior, basically. But the people buying the product are not going to want to talk about it, right? They can't really use word of mouth, endorsement, a lot of the things that marketing would use, because people don't want to reveal that they have, this problem that they need addressed. So they've got sort of a total addressable market in a number of areas. And this is going a little bit in the weeds, but with that client in particular, I'm trying to point out to them where they're going to hit a number of roadblocks where it seems like they have a large market to attack, but they really don't when you break it down by segment. That is another example of a good client where there's really no repeat purchase. It's a one and done type of purchase.
Things like total addressable market, we look at it from say the online side of things, right? And, we're looking at it by looking at things like, website traffic, or search engine, search volume for, a particular type of product or whatever. How would you go about sort of figuring out what that total addressable market is?
Sure. Well, it's a combination of how many people are in the market for the product, how often the different segments use the product or would repeat purchase the product. So I would use Roku as a for instance. Let's say, for instance, Roku was being purchased, 80% of the time by people 60 plus years old. Regardless of the TAM, that's really going to shrink the market if the behavior of that particular segment is to buy one, right? Because they're in a smaller home, they don't have children in the home, their families are gone. They're not going to repeat purchase, or they may be aging out of the product in a number of years versus not, so it's looking beyond what is the total universe of people who want to buy this product, but then by segment, by age group, by gender, by, different economic factors, how much are they going to use the product, and would they repeat purchase the product? And then how quickly are they likely to churn out of the product based on age? So, for example, teenagers is another category. If you have a product that appeals to teenagers, they're going to age out of that product very quickly, or toddlers, for instance. So, to me, TAM is not just
how do you do that segmentation? So, we've all seen survey, things that you can buy that try to segment out a market a bit.
Yep.
But then, if you're looking at something simplistically, sort of Google AdWords or, something like SEMrush or any of those sorts of things that sort of aggregate volume of either searches or of traffic, it's not segmented in that way. So, how many people are looking for razors, right? And because what they, prospectively who the demographic of people who are looking at razors is, you might have some idea.
That's right.
But past that, you don't really have a sense of, of the people who, need razors. Is it men versus women? Is it, is it in a particular age group? Is it a particular income demographic? I mean, how do you get to that level?
Yeah, I mean, typically, it's probably a slightly different. For instance, for you as an external, someone viewing the company externally, internally, we would be looking at quant and qual studies, or potentially, depending on what the product is or the category it is, purchasing some of that, off-the-shelf third-party data.
So, how what would be an example of where you could purchase data like this?
So it'd be the same type of data that we might purchase to overlay paid digital. So we might purchase third-party psychographic data and use that to help inform how we do our digital spend,